إن شاء الله نكمل سلسلة الدار الآخرة. في المرتين الماضيتين تكلمنا عن أمور المفروض الإنسان يعملها حتى يكون مستعد إذا جاء الموت في أي لحظة، وكلنا يعلم إنه الموت يأتي فجأة. تمام. So today, inshallah, we'll complete this series that I started a couple of times ago, a couple of halakas. And we said that death can come anytime. Young people die, old people die, rich people die, poor people die, men, women. So we know for sure that we will die someday. The only thing we don't know is when this day will come. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow, after a month. Subhanallah, حكم عملي كإمام مر علي أمور كثيرة جدا وعجائب في موضوع الوفاة. كان في شاب في إدمنتون عنده 22 سنة وعنده طفلين صغيرين. 22 سنة وكان لا بيدخن ولا بيشرب، إنسان كويس وملتزم وصحته ممتازة ومن عيلة وكذا، وقاموا في الصباح وجدوه قد مات في نومه، أزمة قلبية أو شيء من هذا القبيل. 22 سنة. So I've seen so many stories, and subhanallah, it's very astonishing how things work. Sometimes you look at someone, they are very young, they are very healthy, there is nothing, they don't have a medical history or anything. This brother, the brother I was talking about from Edmonton, 22 years old, he was married, he has 2 kids, from a good family, very healthy. I knew him personally, like nothing. And if you judge him by his looks and his health, you say, mashallah, this guy is going to live another 70 years. The next thing is, they called us and they said he passed away last night in his sleep. He had a heart attack or something and he died. وفي المقابل كان فينا عندنا أستاذ في جامعة الأزهر، دكتور غالي، وعمل ترجمة للقرآن، أخبرنا بقصته. زرناه مرة في البيت. قال وهو صغير لما تخرج من الجامعة كان عنده ما أعرفش 24 سنة 25 سنة، وكان عنده بعض المشاكل الصحية، وكان متزوج وعنده طفلة تقريبا. وصار الطبيب تبعه يقول حاول تأمن مستقبل بنتك لأنه صحتك تعبانة ولا أتوقع أنك تعيش فترة طويلة، واعمل تأمين على الحياة إلى آخره. فقال إن الله هو المؤمن، مش هسوي تأمين على الحياة، الله سبحانه وتعالى هو يتولى الصالحين. فيقول الدكتور غالي أخبرنا إنه عاش دكتور غالي، مات أساتذته، ومات الدكتور اللي كان بيقول له إن أنت تعبان ومريض. حتى كثير من طلابه ماتوا. الدكتور غالي هو توفي من حوالي شهرين تقريبا، وكان عنده ما يقرب من 100 سنة، مع أنه صار 25 سنة كان عنده بعض المشاكل الصحية، ولكن الله سبحانه وتعالى أطال في عمره وكتب كتبا عديدة عن الإسلام للدعوة وترجم القرآن وكذا، مع أنه صحته ما كانتش the best ولا أي حاجة. So on the other hand, there is this story of a professor of mine from Al-Azhar, and he said when he graduated many years ago, and he said that he had some medical issues, and his doctor told him, you have a kid, make sure you have life insurance because I don't expect you to live a long life because of, given your medical history. So he said, I'm not going to do, life insurance, Allah will take care of, my family. So Dr. Ghali told us, we visited him one time, and he said that his doctor died in his life. His teachers died, many of his students died. Dr. Ghali, by the way, passed away about 2 months ago, and he was almost 100 years old. So 75 years of his life he lived, he had some medical issues, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a long and a blessed life. He left a big legacy. He left several books on Islam. He was active in teaching at Al-Azhar. When I was there in Egypt, he was 85, 90 years old, and he used to go and teach. And you never see him sitting down while he was teaching. 85 or 90 years old, he was always standing up and teaching, right? And subhanAllah, Allah gave him a blessed life, and he actually did a translation of the Quran. You never know when your time will come. And I've seen young people die, youth die, old people die, everyone dies. فطبعا قلت إن هناك 10 شغلات لابد إن الإنسان يضعها في راسه وهو يستعد لهذا اليوم. So there are 10 points we need to keep in your mind to get ready for this day. Number 1, العمل قبل الشغل. Do whatever you can as long as you can. If you are healthy, you are young, you have money, do whatever you can. Don't wait, because you never know what will happen tomorrow. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول في حديث كثير يعني يقول ما معناه, if you have the money and you are able to go for Hajj, you should go. Maybe the rich will become poor, and the healthy will become sick, and the living will die. You never know. If you are able to do something good, don't wait. Do it right away. وَتَذَكُّرِ الْمَوْتِ, remembering this day of death and standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for judgment. كُنْ كَالْمُسَافِرْ, be like a traveler. And a traveler would take some luggage with them, but they don't take a truckload when they go to United Airlines. You know what happens? They're going to drag you through the aisle. حُسْنُ الظَّنِّ بِاللَّهِ, when you leave this world, or actually when you live in this world, you have good thoughts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have good thoughts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. He will accept your dua and He will give you Jannah. يعني في بعض الأعراب كان سأل بعض المشايخ وقال يعني أظن أن الله سبحانه وتعالى يحبني. I think Allah loves me. فقال الشيخ, why do you think Allah loves you? He said, because every time I do something haram, I do something wrong, I make tawbah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't love me, He will never guide me to do tawbah. But the fact that He guides me to do tawbah, He loves me. تمام؟ إن الله سبحانه وتعالى إذا وفق إنسانا للتوبة فهذا من علامات المحبة. التعجيل بالتوبة والاستغفار. We need to be doing tawbah every day. We make mistakes day and night. We're human beings. We're not prophets like Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. وكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول يا أيها الناس توبوا إلى الله واستغفروه فإني أتوب إلى الله في اليوم والليلة 100 مرة. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, who didn't commit any sins, كان معصوما, infallible of sin, and still he would say, people make tawbah to Allah, repent to Allah, I make tawbah to Allah and I ask for His forgiveness 100 times every day. He had no sins. So what about us? We make mistakes day and night, knowingly and unknowingly, intentionally and unintentionally. So every night before you go to bed, make tawbah. And before you sleep, you never know if you're going to make it till morning or no, right? So before you go to bed, يعني, think about what you have done throughout the day. If you're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, if you did something wrong, make a pledge that tomorrow inshallah you're going to fix it. If you violated the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask for His forgiveness before you sleep. You never know, this might be your last day. Ziyaratul qubur. Sometimes it's a good thing. يعني من الأمور الطيبة أعتقد يعني تكلمت عن هذا من قبل. في 3 أماكن يعني أدعو الناس إذا حس إنه هو بقسوة في قلبه أو حس ببعد عن الدين أو عدم إقبال على الدين وكذا، في 3 أماكن يزورهم. لو سمعت إن في واحد مريض في المستشفى خاصة في العناية المركزة تزوره، فهذا يحسسك بنعمة الصحة. أحيانا إحنا ننسى هذه النعمة. الثاني، لو في عندك استطاعة إنك تروح تزور المساجين في السجن، الناس المحبوسين، وتشوف يعني هذا يحسسك بنعمة الحرية، وهي نعمة كبيرة جدا. والثالث، لو في جنازة واستطعت أن تذهب إلى المقابر وترى الموتى وكيف يدفنوهم ولا يأخذ معه شيئا، فهذا يذكرك بأنه الحياة قصيرة وأن الإنسان لن يأخذ معه شيئا إلا العمل الصالح. So I always recommend, if you feel that your heart is hardened and you feel like you're being distracted from the right way, there are 3 places that I always advise people to visit. Visit the sick in the hospital. If someone is sick, go and visit them. This wallahi will help you appreciate the ni'mah of health. Sometimes we take it for granted and you never think about يعني, how يعني, important, how precious the ni'mah of sihha is, this health. There are some people, a lot of people who are suffering in this world. Some people go for dialysis. I've seen a brother who goes for dialysis 3-4 times a week. They take all the blood out and they put more blood and injections everywhere, and he was hooked up to tubes from head to toe. Wallahi, it is very difficult and it's very painful. And some people have kidney stones, some people have they are diabetic, and some people have tumors, and some people have cancer. يعني always say Alhamdulillah, make sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given you a good health. والأمر الثالث, when you see a janazah, pray janazah, and also if you got the time, go to the graveyard to see when they bury the person in the dirt, and this person didn't take anything with them, although they lived many years, they traveled a lot, they made thousands of dollars, eventually they didn't take anything with them. They left everything behind. So these three, inshallah, will serve as a constant reminder of the ni'mah that we have in this world, and that zindagi bahut mukhtasar hai. This life is very short, and one day, inshallah, we'll be leaving. الأمر الثاني في مسألة زيارة القبور، وطبعا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان قد نهى عن زيارة القبور، ولكن يعني قال قد نهيتكم عن زيارة القبور ألا فزوروها فإنها تدمع العين وترق القلب وتذكر الآخرة. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم says, visit the graves because they fill your eyes with tears and they soften your hearts and they remind you of Akhirah. When you go there and you see the graves and everything, and whether you go for janazah or you go after the burial to maybe make dua and so on and so forth. When the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يعني زار أهل أحد قبل وفاته صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam visited the people of Uhud before he passed away and he made dua for them. طبعا نعرج على نقطة مثلا خروج النساء للقبور واتباع الجنازة وكذا، طبعا هي مسألة فيها خلافات كثيرة وكذا. فمسألة اتباع الجنازة يجوز، لأنه في حديث عن السيدة فاطمة أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهاها عن زيارة القبور وكذا، والحديث ضعيف، الحديث لا يصح. So some people think it is not permissible for women to go to the graveyard and follow the funeral, and they cite a weak hadith. It's actually a fabricated hadith. The Prophet ﷺ in this hadith, he said to Fatima radiallahu anha, don't follow the janazah because those who follow, women who follow the janazah are cursed. But the hadith is weak, fabricated, it is not authentic. So if someone dies, and say for example his mother or his sister or his wife, they want to go to the graveyard, what's wrong with that? But the most important thing, they shouldn't mingle with the men. لأنه حمل الجنازة والدفن وكذا هذا عمل الرجال. This is يعني carrying the body and burying the body, this is the job of the men. So women should, mashallah, they are gentle, they have soft hearts. Sometimes they will not be able to carry this burden. They should kindly and respectfully sit in the back, and once the burial is done, they can come forward and make dua and so on and so forth. And طبعا visiting the grave anytime for the sisters is okay as long as, mashallah, they are decent and they don't make a scene and so on and so forth. كان في مرة حصلت في إدمنتون كنت هناك. واحد توفي وجي مع الجنازة بتاعته حوالي 3-4 ماشي. المهم أنا ما استطعتش إن أروح للدفن، المكان الدفن كان بعيد حوالي 45 دقيقة على المسجد، ووكلت بعض الإخوة قلت له يعني روح اعمل دعاء وكذا، لأن كان في عندي ارتباط مهم أو زواج أو شيء من هذا القبيل. وطبعا لاحظت في المسجد إنه كل شوية عمالين يكشفوا وجه المتوفى وأمه تبوس، ما فيش مشكلة، الصحابة يعني قبلوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، ما فيش مشكلة. إنما مطلعين كاميرا فيديو وعمالين يصوروا في وشه، وكل شوية واحد يصور سيلفي مع الميت. كمان يعني شو هالمسخرة، شو تمام؟ There was a janazah in Edmonton and I was busy, I couldn't make it to the graveyard for the burial, but this janazah came and 3-4 people came with the janazah, and something was not right. His mother was kissing him, okay, no problem. He was a young guy in his 20s or something, no problem. But they were taking videos of the guy in his casket, and one of them was taking a selfie with the guy. What's wrong with these people? So I couldn't make it, I was busy, I couldn't get to the graveyard. And the brother who went there, not so many people showed up for the burial because not so many people in the community knew the guy. And khalas, they carried him and they went. So his mother wanted to carry the body and his sister wanted to carry the body and his friend, okay. And they were walking and his mother fell on the floor and his sister jumped in the grave, and it was like a disaster. It was like one of those Van Damme Hollywood movies, right? It was a disaster, right? So this is not the job of the sisters. The sisters are gentle, mashallah, they have good hearts. We ask them gently to sit in the back respectfully, and once the burial is done, khalas, they can come forward. Another occasion, كنا here in Ontario. So this young guy died, I don't know, he died, I don't know. Allah, I don't know the reason, he was young, I don't know. We went for his burial, his family came and his sister was standing by the grave I told her, would you please go a little bit to the back? You know, some people are here and the brother wants to do their job. And she started to cuss at me. Inta kaza wa bu kaza. Okay. And she was raising her voice and I said, okay, you know, can you please let us do our job? And the most important thing now is to make dua for him, you know, and please don't raise your voice. She started to cuss again, F you and this and everyone here and wa'iltak wa qabiltak. What can I say? I couldn't say anything, right? Yani, I could have asked someone to remove her, yani, take her away, and the guy used to go to public schools and so many of his non-Muslim friends were there. I didn't want to make a scene. And I left, and of course I was hurt, but what can I do? يعني أعطيتهم نصيحة في المسجد في هذه الليلة وقلت إنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني رأى امرأة، الحديث في البخاري، رأى امرأة تبكي على قبر، يعني زوجها مات ودفنوه، قعدت تبكي وتصرخ وتعمل فيلم يعني. فقال له النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني اصبري واحتسبي. فقالت إليك عني فإنك لم تصب بمصيبتي، وتصيح وكذا. ما كانت تعرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. In this authentic hadith in Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ passed by the graves and he found this woman. There was a new janazah, they buried someone, and his wife was there and she was crying and she was making a scene and screaming. And so the Prophet ﷺ passed by and he said, have sabr, you know, may Allah reward you. فقالت, get away from me. She screamed at the Prophet ﷺ. She didn't know him. She said, get away from me. You have not been affected by what affected me. Yani, this is not the janazah of a relative of yours. This is my janazah, this is my pain, get away from me. فانصرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He left and he didn't say anything. Like he didn't say, how dare you, don't know you, who I am, and all these things. So he left. فلما ولى قالوا يعني هكذا يقال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So after he left, someone said, is this how you treat the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم? So I didn't know. She started to run after the Prophet ﷺ and apologized. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الصبر عند الصدمة الأولى. يعني the real sabr is when the calamity strikes. This is what shows if someone is truly patient or not, right? So again, the point is, yes, we can go to the graves to remember the dead and make dua for the deceased and remember them. And we keep in our minds that one day, inshallah, we'll be in their place. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, khalas, we'll continue next time, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the best in this life and the best in the life to come. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحسن خاتمتنا. اللهم أحسن خاتمتنا. اللهم إنا نسألك قبل الموت توبة وعند الموت شهادة وبعد الموت جنة ونعيما. اللهم إنا نسألك مرافقة نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم ارزقنا شفاعة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم واحشرنا تحت لوائه واسقنا من حوضه واسكننا الفردوس الأعلى معه مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. اللهم اغفر لموتى المسلمين أجمعين يا رب العالمين والحقنا بهم في الصالحين في مستقر رحمتك يا رب العالمين. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم.